When the road split in two, you were the one holding the map. Though map was too generous a word, it was a torn, sweat-soaked scrap of paper with lines that might have once meant something. By the time it reached you, it had survived rain, mud, 2 pockets, a fire, and at least one man who used it to wrap tobacco. But it was the only thing you had, and sometimes that is enough to call it orders. Your squad was down to 5 men, not because of a fight, you hadn't seen a real fight in weeks, but because war eats people without firing a shot. Exhaustion, fever, frostbite, accidents, the slow collapse of a man who one day simply doesn't get up. The others had fallen behind in different ways, scattered across fields, ditches, aid stations, or graves you were too tired to dig properly. The 5 of you stood at the crossroads, the air thick with the late evening chill that comes before a hard frost. On the left was a narrow road, lined with bare trees, their branches like the hands of someone begging for something you couldn't give. On the right was a wider road with muddy ruts from carts or tanks, or both. The left road offered cover. The right offered speed. The man to your right, Hale, spoke first. Orders said east. That one curves east. He pointed to the narrow road. Reese shook his head. Map shows the wide one leads to the village. We need shelter, medicine, real food. That's east enough. Both were right. Both were wrong. That's how war works. Your job was to decide. You looked at each man. Hale, always cautious. Careful, the kind who double-checks his boots before stepping into them. Reese, bold, confident. The kind who would walk into a storm because running wastes breath. Kearns, the quiet one. Already watching the tree line as though he expected something there. Left, he whispered. Almost to himself. Feels safer. And then there was O'Malley, the youngest. He didn't say anything. He just looked at you with the kind of quiet trust that only someone who hasn't lived long enough to doubt everything can give. You wiped your glove across the map, though there was nothing to wipe away. The crossroads waited. The wind waited. The men waited. It was you who spoke. We split. The word surprised even you, but once they were out, they felt like the only ones possible. 2 left, you said. 2 right. If one side hits trouble, the other circles back. Reese stared at you. We're already half a squad. Now you want to split us again? Hale frowned. Orders said stay together. You nodded. Orders also said get to the village. And if this, you lifted the map, is even half right, both roads lead there. It wasn't strategy. It wasn't bravery. It was survival math. If one road was a trap, better to lose 2 men than all of them. You didn't like the calculation, but war doesn't ask what you like. Kern stepped forward. I'll take the narrow road. Hale joined him without hesitation. Reese opened his mouth to argue, but O'Malley spoke first. I'll go with you, he said to Reese, surprising everyone, maybe himself most of all. That left you. I go right, with Reese and the kid. The split took less than a minute. 2 silhouettes walked down the left path, swallowed by shadows between the trees. You, Reese, and O'Malley took the right road, boots sinking into mud, the dusk settling around you like a blanket you couldn't shake off. You walked for an hour, before the first sign of what the split had cost. A faint echo came from somewhere behind the tree line. Not a shot, more like something heavy falling. Or someone. Reese stopped. That was Hale, he said. Too certain for someone who hadn't heard a voice. You listened. Nothing. The woods stayed silent, holding their breath. Circling back? O'Malley asked. You wanted to. Every instinct screamed to. But instincts were luxuries now. No, you said. We keep moving. Reese glared at you. Anger sharp in his eyes, but he kept walking. Another hour passed. Your feet ached. Your pack dug into your shoulders like a fist. The cold settled deeper. Then you reached the village, or what was left of it. Fences broken, doors open, windows shattered. No smoke from chimneys, no prints in the mud except your own. The war had passed through here like a storm, and storms don't leave explanations. You checked houses, all empty. One had signs of a struggle, a broken chair, dried blood on the wall. Another had dishes still set on a table as if someone left in the middle of supper. In one house, O'Malley found a child's toy lying in the corner, untouched by dust. He didn't pick it up. The cold became sharper. "We should have gone left," Reese said finally, voice low. "We should have stayed together. You split us." You didn't argue. He was right. Then the bell rang. A single metallic clang that echoed through the empty streets, bouncing off walls and vanishing into the hills. Not a church bell, a signal bell. One you'd only heard once before, the kind villagers used when soldiers came through and they needed to hide. Reese froze. "That means someone's here." "No," you said quietly. "It means someone was here recently." Another clang. Farther this time. A warning. A message you were too late to understand. Then O'Malley pointed. Tracks. In the mud behind the last house, fresh boot prints, heading towards the hills. 3 sets. Maybe 4. Rushed. Uneven. Villagers fleeing? Soldiers retreating? You couldn't know, but you knew the direction they went. The same direction as the left-hand road. You closed your eyes. For a moment you felt the cold in your chest, deeper than the evening air. Reese looked at you. His anger was gone. Something else had taken its place. "You think they ran into Hale and Kearns?" You didn't answer, not because you didn't know, but because you did. You spent the night in the village. None of you slept much. In the morning, you found the 2 bodies near the base of the hill. Hale and Kearns. Not arranged, not buried, just left where they fell. Their rifles were gone. Whatever they'd encountered, it wasn't interested in ceremony. O'Malley kneeled beside them. Reese paced in tight circles, cursing under his breath. You stood still, the cold settling into your bones in a way that wouldn't leave for years. Reese rounded on you. "This is your fault." You didn't deny it. The road split because you made it so. But responsibility is a strange thing. It doesn't disappear when shared, and it doesn't lighten when admitted. It stays exactly the same weight it was when you put it on your shoulders. You buried Hale and Kearns with your hands because shovels were gone. Dirt under your fingernails, frost biting your knuckles, breath burning your lungs. All of it felt like payment. Not enough, but something. When the graves were done, O'Malley asked the question no one else would. "Why did you choose to split us?" You looked at him. At the mud on his boots, the fear hiding behind his eyes, the trust he still somehow hadn't lost, and you told him the truth. "If we stayed together," you said, "we might all be dead. If we split, only some of us would be." Reese swore and walked away. O'Malley lowered his head. You stood between 2 graves in the cold wind and understood something you would carry for the rest of the war. A leader isn't the one who makes the right choices. A leader is the one who lives long enough to regret them. When the road split in 2, you chose. And choices in war don't end when you walk away from the crossroads. They follow you, like shadows. And they never stop asking if you'd choose any differently if you were standing there again.